Hello, sprinters. Welcome to day 2. And I've got some really good stuff for you today. Hoping that you guys will start jumping on. If you catch the live, comment live. If you're on the replay, let me know if you're on the replay. So today, we're going to talk about becoming 2 things. And these 2 things are super important. And so do you feel like you have the weight of the world on your shoulders with all the things? Well, there's really only 2 things you need to perfect to be successful. You want to know what they are? Becoming a master inviter and a master connector. Somebody put that in the chat. A master connector and a master inviter. That's the 2 main things you can do to absolutely crush this 45-day run. So what does that mean? You want to know? Well, I'm going to tell you. So I've got some good stuff to talk to you guys about today. Number 1, let the product and the tools do the heavy lifting. They're there to do that. And once you perfect inviting and connecting, how you get to that point is by pointing to the tools, pointing to the tools, pointing to the tools. So I hope that frees some of you up. I did a Zoom with my group and I gave them this information and I said, I'm going to lift the pressure off of your shoulders and tell you this is really about becoming 2 things. What are they? A master connector and a master inviter. So does that take some pressure off of you knowing that you now have two things to master to totally take advantage of this 45-day run? Tonight, we have our very first opportunity Zoom that each partner is going to get at least 1 guest on. So I hope that you have started inviting, and I hope that today, after this training, helps you to do that. So here's an example. You want an example of what you can message out to someone to become a master inviter. Now, with the enhancements that have come into our company, I've tweaked my inviting a little bit because I believe, and this is my belief, that it is a ginormous, a huge incentive in your messaging with these comp plan enhancements. And I'm going to tell you what they are. So here's an example of what you can send out to someone today to invite them. Would you like to know what to say? Would you like to know how to keep it super simple and how to work on becoming this master inviter? So here's an example. I'm going to read it to you and I can type it up and put it in the group as well. Hey, and if you're voice texting this or if you're typing it out, if you're voice texting, it's going to be up to you to have some excitement and urgency in your voice. That is something you need to work. But voice texting is a great way to do this. So it's really up to you. If they can hear the excitement in your voice, it does make a difference. Hey, I have stumbled upon something huge. And I do not know if it's for you or not. But what I do know is it's worthy of a look. A giant K-beauty company, K-beauty is the highest standards in Korean skincare, just launched in North America. And most people have never heard of it. See, that's a big one right there. Most people have never even heard of it. They did $2.5 billion in the most competitive market of South Korea in just 5 years. And they just rolled out an affiliate program. Do you guys see how I'm switching it? So my reasoning behind that is people are like, I'm anti-MLM, I'm anti-this, I'm anti-this. Well, ask all the med spas and esthetician and dermatologists who've signed up who said the same thing. So you get where I'm going with that. But I believe that we can capitalize on this affiliate program. What I'm writing is, and they just rolled out an affiliate program. Remember, I just said most people have never even heard of it. They rolled out an affiliate program where you can change your skin, look the best you've ever looked, and make up to 40% following a system and sharing these products. We're having a special Zoom tonight. And I would be honored if you would be my special guest. I promise you, I'm not wasting your time. It will be worth you getting on. So let me read that now with not explaining things in there. Hey, like, hey, oh my gosh. I've stumbled upon something absolutely huge. And I don't know if it's for you or not, but what I'm confident of is it's worthy of a look. This ginormous K-Beauty company. What is K-Beauty? It's the highest standards in Korean skincare, just launched in North America. And most people have never even heard of it yet. You have an opportunity to tell people about this skincare. And they've just rolled out an affiliate program where you could make up to 40%. Nobody's paying that. We're having a special Zoom tonight. And I would be honored if you would be my special guest to hop on this Zoom and see if it's for you. If it's for you, great. If it's not for you, great. But I promise it's worthy of your time. So I'll type something up, but you guys get where I'm going with that. This up to 40% at senior manager, affiliate, they don't have to have a single person on their team, completely changed the game. And I hope that you guys realize that because it's a really big freaking deal. It's huge. Okay. Now, that's it. That's a little bit on inviting. Let's talk a little bit about connecting. If you're new, or I'm going to say if you've been here 6 months or less, I'm going to consider you new. And so this is how you can become a connector as a new person. And that is you reach out to people and you introduce this skincare to them by saying something very simple like, this unbelievable the highest standards of Korean skincare has just launched here. You've got to look at this skincare. Like, it's unbelievable. Do you guys get where I'm going with that? They're playing that video in their head and they're thinking, wow, this is huge. And the minute that they ask questions, your answer is, I don't know. I'm releasing you from the pressure of being an expert. Because if you think you have to be an expert, you're not going to find what you're looking for. Your answer is, I don't know. Listen, I'm just getting started and I would hate to tell you something wrong. So I'm going to add my friend here who is an expert and she can answer all your questions. Do you guys get where I'm going with that? Like, you just simply introduce them to the skincare and then they have questions and you don't answer them. Because you're not an expert and you're not going to claim to be one. But you're going to bring someone else in and you're going to say, I'm going to add my friend here who is an expert. You add the friend, you add your upline, team leader, director, whoever, and you introduce them and you edify them. What does edify mean? It means, this is my friend, Stephanie, and she's been here way longer than me and she knows a lot and she can answer all your questions. And at that point, this is the most important part of connecting, being that master connector with your expert, is you say nothing from here on out. You watch and you learn as this conversation plays out. Because one day you will be the expert. But for now, you are in learning mode. Sorry about that, guys. I'm not even on Wi-Fi. I don't know what's going on. Your job is just to connect them with an expert. Remember, what is your answer? I don't know. But I would certainly hate to tell you something wrong. Let me bring my friend Lori in here, who's been here longer than me and can answer all your questions. Introduce Lori and then zip it. What's the best training tape you can have for your business? Duct tape. And you guys, you're going to have to just trust me on this. When I got started in this industry 14 years ago, even if I knew the answers, I didn't answer them. Because that was my opportunity to bring in an expert. Are they really an expert? Maybe, maybe not. They're an expert to this person. That's the main thing you need to know. So you're going to introduce your expert and you're going to zip it and you're going to let them take it from there. You will be asked to come back into this conversation when they ask you to drop your link because they're ready to order or join your team. How about that? So if you've been here 6 months or longer, you're going to do the same thing, except for you're going to say, if they have questions, you're going to say, listen, I'm going to add Brianna to this thread. My friend Brianna, you have to hear her story. Now, do you guys get that? Stories sell. And so Brianna's going to come in there and she's going to tell her story. Do you guys know what's happening when someone's telling their story? That person is playing that movie in their head of them in that situation. So that's why stories sell. So you're either connecting to answer questions or you're connecting to listen to a story. Listen to a story. This is important. This is not a first exposure. You do not add an expert to a call or a thread as a first exposure. This has to be they've asked questions or they've shown a little interest. On a scale of 1 to 10, there may be a 4. So this is just the next step in the process. Please write that down. Someone put it in the chat. This is never a first exposure. It's not a magical call. It's not a magical thread. It can be magic if you do it the right way. Please never, ever, ever put someone in a thread as a first exposure because you're uncomfortable, because you want them to do the magic. You got to set them up to work the magic in order for this to work. So are you guys getting this? Am I helping you with relieving you of the pressure of the world that you have to do all these things? No. What are the 2 things you need to be? A master what? And a master what? Think about that. Okay. If you get them on a 3-way call, same thing. You edify your expert and you zip it. You don't say a word. I've been on many 3-way calls where the person who got me on the call keeps chiming in. Every time you do that, you de-edify your expert. So please don't do that. It doesn't work. You are there to listen. You're going to, look, the best training you will ever receive at Remon is going to be watching the conversation play out while you watch it play out. Guys, when I got started in this industry, I followed this to a T, even if I knew the answers. And when I would get someone on a 3-way call, when I would get someone in a 3-way chat, I knew exactly what they were going to say verbatim. Didn't matter. I kept doing it. And this is where you're going to hear me say, when I got started in this industry, I was extremely coachable and I was extremely consistent. If they told me to go stick my head in the toilet and flush it and come back out here and get on a Zoom, I did it. Just tell me what to do to get where you are. Tell me what I need to do to get where you are. That was my only question. So I figured out these things, and guess what else? It's duplicatable. You guys get that? It's duplicatable. All right, so the other thing that I'm going to kind of jump to, and she can't be on here today, and I'm super sorry, and she was going to be my guest. Laurie was going to be on here. We did a Zoom the other night, and we did some role playing, and a breakthrough moment happened. So I'm going to tell you what happened, and hopefully I can get her at another time. She works a full-time job, so I couldn't get her, but we did a Zoom, and I gave them this training, and I told them, you just only need to be good at 2 things, connecting and inviting. That's it. The rest will work itself out. And so I said, let's do a role play. And so I said, all right, message me through voice text or through Messenger or whatever. She messaged me and she said, hey, I've got something super exciting that I want to share with you. And I think it was something like that. She said, I'm so excited to tell you something that I just discovered. Something like that. And so I pretended to voice text back and I said, what is it? And she said, this unbelievable highest standard of Korean skincare just launched here and most people have never even heard of it. Would you be open to trying it? And I came back and I said, the word that we hear a lot, do you have any samples? And she said, yeah, I can get you a 5-day sample and let you try this. I'll just need you to take your before picture and use them exactly to the instructions. And so I can do that. And this is where I interjected and I said, this is how you leverage that. Does everyone here understand leverage and using leverage in your business? And I said, Laurie, what I would do at that point is I'd say, look, I'm happy to send you a sample, but I'm going to need you to do something for me. And that is jump on this Zoom tonight and learn about what this is. So I've now leveraged my sample to get her on a Zoom. Do you guys get that? Like leverage, use your leverage at every turn. And use it to get someone further along in the funnel. Have you guys ever heard of a full funnel? What that means is you've got tons of people in your funnel that you're having conversations with, that you are having, you've sent samples to, they're interested, they've been on a Zoom, whatever. Your funnel is full of prospects. And eventually they start dropping out the other end of the funnel, but you got to keep feeding that funnel. Do you guys get that? Keep putting things in the funnel. Having those conversations. Carrie just had a light bulb moment. Yay, I'm so excited. Keep that funnel full because as things start dropping out, people jumping into your business or ordering your products, you got to keep filling that funnel. And that's why we don't just have a couple of prospects that we ride and ride and ride. You know, I've always said, you know, like you have are you really talking to people or are you talking to the same prospects over and over and over? So filling that funnel with new prospects is super important. So I hope that role play there helped you to start leveraging those samples and getting something in return for sending them that sample. Okay. Master connector, master inviter. And I'm going to blow your mind with this. Are you ready? Are you guys ready? Do you know how to grow your business in a major way doing this technique? Okay, here it is. So you make a post or you reach out, you tell them about the products, you tell them about the opportunity, whichever one it is, and then you get them in you send them a tool, a video, or my connection is slow. I have full bars. I don't know why this is doing this. You get them. You're getting them along in the funnel. So you did an exposure. You did a tool. You sent a video or whatever the thing is. Maybe it's a sample. Maybe it's a video. Maybe it's an opportunity Zoom. Then you got them in a 3-way message or a 3-way call to edify the expert. Do you guys know what you just did? Anybody? You just sent a message to that prospect that's going to now say, wait just a deadgum minute. She made a post. She sent me a video. She invited me to a Zoom and she had someone else answer my questions. I can do that. Do you see how that just made it look so duplicatable? The more duplicatable and easy you make this look, the faster you will go. I'm releasing you from all of the pressure and all of the things you think you're carrying around because we make it too hard. It's really, really very simple. But that's a recruiting tool and you didn't even know it. This duplication is this doing this, following this system is a recruiting tool and they don't even know it. Okay. I hope that you're keeping good notes and the latest conversation that you have with each of your prospects. So you know what the next step is to follow up. I hope that you're keeping really, really diligent notes and you know exactly where you are in the conversation with this prospect. My last question here, we're going to kind of keep this short, is, do you believe that you have the best skincare on the planet? Because if you don't, it's going to affect your messaging. It's going to affect your messaging. I believe it with my whole heart. And so in my messaging to people, they get that. They see my passion and belief for these products. So if you don't believe these are the best products on the planet and now the best company and comp plan on the planet, you got some work to do because you have to believe that. I believe it with all my heart. You're never going to convince me of anything different. That's where you want to get. Here's another tip for you. Never prejudge. A lot of times we're like, oh, she would never do this. She would never do that. Let me tell you a really quick story. In 2013, my husband and I were going through a very challenging time. I was a realtor and we lost everything over the course of a few years. We lost our home. We lost our credit. I had to pull my kids out of the precious private school that I had them in, and we had to start over. I had to get my parents to co-sign for us a house to rent. We were in our mid-40s. Tough times. Tough times. What if someone saw the house I lived in, the car I drove, and thought she would never do this, and I was desperately needing something? What if she had prejudged me? Because I made it look like on the outside before everything fell apart, I made it look like we were okay. Of course I did. And I was sinking like the Titanic. Never prejudge. Someone, you never know what's going on. So you share with everyone. It's not your decision to make. You just share. It's their decision to make. You know, I've been talking a lot about jumping. Jump, 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 jump. Build your parachute on the way down. The net will appear. However you want to look at that. However you want to look at that. Guys, we have the cookie. What is the cookie? The best thing in town. The best thing in town. And it's up to you to believe that. And you start reaching out and helping people from that angle of, this could be exactly what they were looking for, but I won't know unless I talk to them about it, unless I start this process. You're not here to be an expert. You're not here to know all the science. You're not here to know all the things. Stop making this complicated. Just two things. Two things. Connecting and inviting. And one day, you will be the expert on those calls. You will be the expert in those chats because you learned every step of the way how this thing plays out. So I hope today helped. I'm sorry Laurie couldn't be on here. I'm going to tell you that breakthrough moment was big that we had on our Zoom of role playing. But I think you got the gist of how that turned and how I used leverage on that sample to get her on a Zoom. Get your guest on tonight. Get your guest on tonight. And I hope that you watch this today and it changes the way you invite and it changes the way you are looking at things, because we are sitting on the single biggest moment of our lives. Do I believe that? You better believe it. 100%. 100%. So it's time to get loud and proud. It's time to make your move. It's time for you to get behind this 100% and go out there and make this look like the most duplicatable, simplest thing that's ever landed in North America, and watch how fast you go. Because you know what you did? You got yourself out of the way. Have you ever heard the saying, get out of your own way? That's your assignment. Get out of your own way. I hope this helps. I'm super fired up. You're going to get some incredible training the rest of this week. You're not going to see me for a while. They popped me in here 2 days in a row, but I'll be back with you in a couple of weeks. And on another discovery that I had on customers and launching a customer. So stay tuned. I'll see you in the thread. I love you all, believe in you all. This is your time. This is your time. This is your time, and it's time to claim it. Let's go.